Needs to reassure people that it's not going to take sides on one of the most controversial issues in British culture, said Simon Calvert of the Christian Institute. He added the Republican Parliament are split right down the middle in this. Why on earth can't the regulators stop the advertising of abortion services on TV until there has been proper consideration? Marie Stopes should not be allowed to ride roughshod over the widely held and deeply felt obligations of a very large sector of the British public, said Mr. Calvert. Clinics which make a profit from carrying out abortions are banned from advertising their services on TV. So they're finding ways around it. See, it's time to push the envelope further, you see. That's all it is, pushing the envelope of the public ready. Yeah, most will accept this now, yeah. So, how did they get this in? Well, it says a loophole means that Marie Stopes, which is a not-for-profit organization, one of these charitable organizations that happens to get, £30 million a year from the taxpayer. You see, is not subject to the same restrictions. You see, because it's a not-profit organization. It's non-profit. The ad will be screened for the first time at 10 p.m. on Monday during a new live show, The £1 Million Drop, presented by Davina McCall. And the commercial will run throughout June, while the first showing of the ad is after the 9 p.m. watershed. The organization that pre-vets TV ads, again, that's your censorship committees, Clearcast UK, has not imposed any restrictions on the day of time it can be aired. So, you are altered bit by bit down the slippy path, you see. And we've already seen the introduction of euthanasia, which always was one of their sustainability plans. After all, if you're not working and contributing to your community, you should not really live, should you? You should just do your duty and die. And don't be a burden on those left behind who have to pay for it all. It's amazing, though, those that run your system can be into their 90s, like Mr. Rockefeller, still going around the world pushing his depopulation plans. Doesn't apply to those ones. Just special people, you see, special genes. Yeah. There's been a war on for an awful long time, and generations have been oblivious to it. Oblivious to it. Here's an article here as they get into you. See, they're right into remember they wanted to get the child at the womb if possible. That's what Bertrand Russell said. They'd worked to see if they could find ways to literally take the children from the mothers at birth and bring them up in a brave new world type where you wouldn't know who your father was or your mother, and then you wouldn't be contaminated with old-fashioned ideas. But then they found out through his scientific school that he was funded by a royal grant to do, that they could introduce pre-pubertal sex amongst children at a very early age, and with scientific indoctrination, when the children went home after school, it didn't matter what morals the parents tried to pass on to them, they would have no effect whatsoever. So he said it was more economically feasible and better for his own group, I guess, and the country, if parents were just in charge of feeding, clothing, and basic care of the child. The state would supply everything else. Quite something. Free though. Hey folks, it's free. You better grab it now, eh? You know, I read an article about a week ago about Facebook when the creator of it was asked about, selling people's private info and all the rest of it, and he called people dumb, stupid, F-U-C-K-S. And people get all upset about that. I congratulate the guy because he said the truth. He told you the truth. Wouldn't you rather have the truth from these characters? It's a pity they won't tell you the truth and intent of their free services before they start them or you sign on. But wasn't he telling the truth? Here you are going into some site. You have no idea what their intentions are. Although you should. You see, if you were uncontaminated, you would still be suspicious of it. And then he's selling all your information all over the planet. But it's free. It's free. Now, I've always shook my head when I see the Pentagon and DARPA leading the charge for brain chips. They've been ongoing. I've read the articles over the years from the Pentagon who are really into this stuff. Part of the real project, of course, is to make super soldiers that they can really use in battle, who will not be themselves, you might say. They'll be programmable. But they always use, the first thing they came out with was when they tried the chip. And DARPA put out a big publicity report how they got a paraplegic to text the occasional email successfully with this brain chip. So we know that really the Pentagon is really the spearheading medical profession because they care. That's what the Pentagon's there for, to fix bodies. We know that, of course, don't we? And here it is, May the 7th. It says, Smart Planet, Pentagon enlists universities to collaborate on brain implants to repair brain injury. And so they're putting in $14.9 million in funding for major research institutions to collaborate on brain implants that can help repair traumatic brain injury. That's their cover, of course, as always. Because we know that's the real prime concern is wounded soldiers, isn't it? And it says the Pentagon project called Repair, because they love the little codes here, right? Reorganization and plasticity to accelerate injury recovery, aims to find a way to better analyze brain activities to develop more advanced models of how it operates. The effort is comprised of 10 professors. See, they've got universities that they work hand in glove with universities, have done since before World War II. In all aspects, including all your social engineering departments as well. They come from Stanford and Brown Universities and University of California, San Francisco, and University College London. Then it goes on with a little spiel about it's not an uncommon injury, a brain injury, it affects vehicle accident victims. You see, understand the Pentagon really cares about your driving habits. Stroke patients, they really care about them as they pull the plug on them. You're brain dead, up to pull the plug. And military veterans are like totaling 1.7 million Americans each year. That's why when you're broke, the Pentagon's throwing money at brain chips. The problem scientists we know very little about is utter rubbish. They know an awful lot about the brain. Currently, scientists can create conceptual models of brain activity and can record electrical impulses emitted by individual neurons in the brain, but they can't yet manipulate those pulses to reprogram the brain. Well, not all of it. They don't even need the chip for that, actually. Enter optogenetics. The new technique involves emitting pulses of light to pinpoint and trigger a single neuron. Back with more after these messages. This is Alan Watt, and we're cutting through the matrix. Then I'm going to Brandon from Florida. Is Brandon there?
Pretty scary these days, isn't it, Alan?
Yeah, it's scary. It's only scary.
It seems like you're doing a pretty good job of bludgeoning us to death with constant fear and all sorts of things. And I can see myself getting to a point where I'll be like that guy in Brave New World, where I just want to go off and find my own place by myself and not even want to associate with anybody. And with their sciences and technology, they can, they pretty much have all the answers to our minds now, so they can do anything they want.
They can, and there's always the Q factor, though. There's always something can crop up that's outside their all the plans that they make. And if you stick to your own moral senses, and you might find people with their own similar mindset, you can certainly start ripples that you wouldn't believe. As I say, Mao Zedong said he wasn't afraid of cannons or anything. He was afraid of someone with an idea. And that's the truth. But don't let the scare tactics get you down. It's meant to petrify you and disable you. You're still yourself. Keep a hold of yourself. That's the main enemies of them, is yourself. Keep a hold of it and never let it go. From Hamish myself, from Ontario, Canada, it's good night to me. Your God's go with you.